Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Maribel. I am the yarn dyer behind Rainier Yarn and the fabric dyer behind the Moonlit Stitcher. I am 30. I live in the Seattle-Tacoma area with my husband of almost 10 years, my 2 kids, and 2 dogs. So this is a channel mostly about what I'm working on. I do have 2 businesses, but I don't always want to share like what I'm selling all the time, not necessarily. And so this is kind of a space where I talk about personal projects and samples and what I'm working on. So I, above everything, am a collector of hobbies. So I knit, I crochet, I cross stitch, I sew. I'm a terrible yarn spinner. And I just picked up watercolor painting, so if any of those things interest you, this is the channel for you. Subscribe. So I just picked up my kids from school. The sun is going in and out. I live in the Seattle-Tacoma area, so when I sat down to record, it was really bright out, and now the sun's behind clouds, so we'll see how long this will last, and hopefully my lighting doesn't go bad. So I used to regularly record back in 2020, 2022, at least 1 or 2 videos a month. However, it's been a few years, and last year I decided to do Vlogmas in December, and I did record an episode for January. However, I didn't edit it or post it and kind of just deleted it. And so here we are at the end of February 2025 and finally getting back on it. So during this video, I'm going to be showing you everything I've worked on in February. I also did go to Red Alder and dyed up some kits for all knit up designs that I'll show you later, and a little bit of haul that I have. So let's just get into it because my husband's on his way home and I probably have like 20 to 30 minutes of light left. And my kids are watching a show, but the show's end soon. The first thing I worked on all of February is a Musselburgh hat. This is by Ysolda Teauge, and I hand dyed this yarn. It is an older colorway, so I no longer do full skeins anymore. I have switched from full skeins to mini skeins, which is mostly what you see behind me. However, I found a tote that I just, like, I kept all my old full skein stashes in, and yeah, so this is one of them. This is Coddy 22 on my 80/20 base, and I only have 2 left, and then they're gone forever. They are 50% off on my D-stash section on my website. But yeah, I am holding this double with the same colorway on my Surrey, and wow, the sun is out really bright now. It's blowing out everything. I'm about 2/3 of the way done. I did realize that I did not count my stitches correctly, and I think instead of 96, I cast on like 120 to maybe 130, so this is gonna go to somebody who has a big head. One of my biggest things this year is plans and goals, so I decided that I wanted to knit a hat a month. So that way when Christmas rolls around this year, I won't panic knit like I did last year. And at least 12 people will have hats. So yes, that is the first project that I'm working on. I still have 4, no, I have 2 days left in the month. And I could totally finish this in 2 days. So yeah, that is, hello you. Oh, there's no paper towels there. Why do you need paper towels?
Because I need to wipe my brain.
The next project that I worked on was Wednesday Addams. This is by Medusa Dollmaker. It is, or it was kitted by Gecko Rouge. They no longer license any of Medusa Dollmaker's work. So this is where I'm at. It doesn't look like much, but it is 4% of it. I was working on a lot of confetti heavy stuff here, and yeah, it is a full coverage piece, so I am stitching up all of the background, and I am using the called for, or the kitted up fabric, which is 28 count easy grid Lugana, and that is where I'm at. The goal on this one for the entire year is to get to 12.5%. I am doing WhipGo that is hosted by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And so I think I have to do about 270 stitches a week to reach my 12.5% goal, which doesn't feel like a lot, but it is actually a lot. Just to get to that 4%, 4.5%, it's like 5,000 stitches. So yeah, I'm working on it. So the next project that I worked on is Cozy Knit. This is a newer pattern. I think it released in January. This is by Nath Nolu on Etsy. And it doesn't really look like much. I started in the middle, but it will be a crow sitting in a big green couch knitting a sock. And I hand dyed this fabric myself. I love the modeling on this. It makes me so happy. And I'm doing this on a 14 count Aida. And yeah, I absolutely love crows. The next tattoo that I plan on having is a crow by the same artist who did my little sneaky. So yeah, I typically am a left top starter. However, I don't think I have enough margin here, so I started in the middle. And yeah, for my cross-stitching business, I do plan on putting material packs together and selling them at A Little Nitty. So the Moonlight Stitcher doesn't have a website yet. It does have an Instagram, which I haven't posted like anything. There's like one post on there because it is a very new business. But I do teach classes at A Little Nitty, and I will be kitting that with the hand-dyed fabric too. So, did I get all of that info out? Yes. I am looking off to the side because I'm looking at my stitching journal and planner that I got from the Moonlit, nope, I was gonna say Moonlit Society, no, from the Black Needle Society. And sorry, everything is flipped, so you won't be able to read it. So yeah, I'm just going by day on what I worked on. So the next thing I worked on was my Cryptid SAL. So the Cryptid SAL is a stitch along that the Witchy Stitcher hosted back in 2021. I did start this in 2021, and here's where I'm at. So I have not worked on this in quite some time. I realized that I think it's from the Y or the P all the way down here is off by a stitch. And when it comes to cross stitching, I want things to be mirrored and perfect and be the way they're supposed to be, and this is not. So that is the number one thing that is stopping me from picking this up. However, I committed and talked myself into finishing this, mostly the interior here. It's such a large piece that it's kind of awkward to hold. So I did some work on Poplik. However, if you can see down here, this border is actually off by one because I don't know how to count apparently. So I have to rip this little section out and then this little star and redo it. Then I can finish the square. This project is my oldest whip. I started it August of 2021, and you know, the horrors persist, but so do I. Because, oh, it's ridiculous how many times I've messed up. I actually like messed up this part too. So because the border's off, I'd seen someone who stitched Sasquatch breaking out of the frame, and so then I was like, well, instead of fixing the frame, that's what I'll do. But then my Sasquatch is actually too far down, so I have to unpick him and then move him up. And it has to do with like the moons here. So I'd have like a full moon and then some trees and then Sasquatch breaking out. But then I miscounted that, and then I miscounted this, and then I miscounted this, and I'm going gray. Anyways, I forgot to share that this is the first thing I ever hand dyed in terms of fabric. So it's like this brownie pink neutral And yeah, I'll have like plenty down here to use a few things as long as I don't leave myself a ridiculously long border. But yeah, I absolutely love the Witchy Stitcher. I do have more of her projects that I'm working on. I'm part of her Patreon. I'm like all for Witchy Stitcher. I buy like all the boxes that she puts out. Like she just put out one last box for her Patreon subscribers and I got it. And anyways, I'm a stand for Meg. That's a long tangent. That's a little tangent, not a long one, but a little. So, because I was kind of at this point in the month meh about my stitching, I just kind of stitched out. So I just started doing a whole bunch of granny square, crocheting granny squares. And I think I started this granny square project last August. I decided that I was going to use up my scraps from everything that I've dyed over the years, make a sort of like a legacy blanket of just like everything that I've dyed. And so I think I have 22 squares. So this is like a light summery palette that I tested out the colors and I never put out a set. And I think I need to put out a set because I started knitting a sock with it too. But here we are on this sock that I never finished. It reminds me of like summertime sunshine and watermelon, and like that's kind of what I was going for. So yeah, that's the 6, 7. And then I pulled out another very fun color palette. This, I again tested the dyes for it and was going to put together a sunset mini set, and I never did. But crocheting these up, like, I know all the formulas to this, so I should just do it. And I think I should dye it black to go with this and tie it off. Because this is like this bright yellow is very bright and neon. I think these 4 are neon colors, and then these just are blues. But yeah, I need to get to this and finish this. Some other ones that I'm working on, I'm just kind of like pulling at random, and they happen to be from sets. So this one, I thought I had my set out here for it, is part of my Into the Woods set. So it's these first 3 here. Anyways, this is half of the Into the Woods set. I dropped one, that's okay. And then these ones here are from my older dyeing days. So I think this one is the oldest one that I've had, and I can feel that it's old because I probably burnt the nylon in here, or started to. So it's a little crunchy. But this is one of like the first things I ever dyed. I think this one too. It's not as crunchy. This is a beautiful olivey color. It's a little bit darker in person. Yeah, it's more like that. And then this one was the first time I ever tried to self-stripe anything and realized I would never be a self-striping dyer. This is actually supposed to be 3 different colors, and you can kind of tell here where it tried to lighten up because it's supposed to be red, pink, and black, and it just ended up being extra red. I did end up knitting most of this. Oh, I actually have it here. Most of this into a hat for my husband, and then I just held it double with black. But yeah, I'm just not a self-striping dyer, which is fine. There's so much beautiful self-striping yarn. It's just not coming for me. And then the last square that I have is actually from a Halloween set. This is called Witch's Swamp, and this is the orange one. I haven't dyed this in a while, and this is actually more green in person. More moody, more grungy than it is showing up on camera, because this is gray and not brown. But yeah, I'm really enjoying these. Well, I have some really bright ones, some fun ones too. I just, like, I didn't think I was going to enjoy making granny squares, but I'm having a blast. And, you know, one day they'll all be a blanket that I see every day. I think my husband might have gotten home. We'll see. The dogs might bark. So, what else did I work on? Oh, I started working on a granny stripe blanket too. So, what I'm doing is, like, I'll have a 20-gram mini. I will make a granny square, and then whatever's left, I've been putting into I think they're called magic knot balls. Almost got this in my coffee. And crocheting a granny stripe blanket. So this, I'm using the Crazy Sock Lady's, not really pattern, like loose instructions. She posted a tutorial on a Ravelry page, or a video that she's using, and she changed 300. I went with 400 because I just wanted a wider blanket, and it's pretty wide. And yeah, this is my June Bloom colorway that I actually have down here, and it's just a happy colorway. Like, yeah. I think this and this, like, these are just brights. I love a moody, dark color palette, but sometimes I just want bright and in your face and cute. And I forgot to mention the granny squares. I'm using a 3.5 millimeter hook, and using Tony Lipsy's TL Yarn Crafts tutorials on how to make granny stripes or granny squares, and then yeah, the Crazy Sock Lady for my granny squares. And I'm doing a 2.5 millimeter hook on that. So I don't know if I mentioned that I was playing WhipGo. Probably not. WhipGo is bingo for your whips, and so for February, boxes 7 and 8 were called, and that was what I was working on was Wednesday. Today is February 26th, so on the 25th of every month, Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff calls out numbers, and it was 9 and 24. And since this is my board, my rules, I've already completed my February goals, so I just went ahead and started on my March goals. This is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. It is in my hoop because I am actually working on it. So I will put a picture of the chart up here. I had it 2 seconds ago and I have no idea where it is, but I am changing a few things. So in the center here, dark as pitch is actually off to the side in the pattern, but I centered it, and then this like little motif thing, I'm going to add it here. So in one day, I finished, I think, these little, I don't know what to call them, this little motif here, darkest pitch, and then this like chain pattern here, and then I worked a little bit on this border. So this, the fabric is 40 count Marquee by Picture This Plus, and it's on their linen, and I enjoy it. So I'm not changing a lot of colors. It is the color palette that is called for, which is all of the General Arts here. However, Garden Gate is really close to my fabric color, to Marquee, and so I had to change up where I used the color. So the original pattern, Onyx, is this darker color here. It's just supposed to be the A and then Garden Gate on the rest of it, but I couldn't see it. And like, I'm all for ghosting, like it kind of ghosts a little bit here and here, but like I need to read the words and I need to see most of the work. But I'm okay with it doing it on the outer border. So again, I am using the called for colors, but just changing up when I'm using it. So I am a person who loves matchy-matchy. So I divided this outer border evenly and the inner border as well. On the project, or on the actual chart, it's not even, and it bothers me. So I divided them equally. So these outer 3 acorn vine stitches are in Garden Gate, and then the inner ones are Onyx, And so I'm doing that for all of them. In the pattern, it's not. And then same with the inner border. These corners here, I'm doing an onyx and then garden gate evenly. I think in the original pattern, it's supposed to be like onyx, garden gate, onyx, garden gate, onyx. And it just was bothering me. So I changed it. So yeah, that is everything that I worked on. I think I mentioned that I went to Red Alder earlier this month. So Red Alder is a fiber show that is hosted in Tacoma, Washington, and I only live like 20 minutes north of there. Sierra from All Knit Up Designs, it was vending, and she asked me to make some kits for her Color Riot shawl, so I'll put some pictures in here for that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they sold out. I made 10 kits. She is going to be doing a pre-order for more, I think March 1st. So while I was there, I decided to do some shopping, and my number one place that I love to see, or the number one person that I love to see, is Sunrise Grove. And like, she does all these woodworking stuff. I am gauging my ears, so these won't fit necessarily. I would have to probably change this out to be able to go in and out because I have, what are they called? Tunnels, so they're long. And this won't stay in there unless I bend them a certain way, and I don't want to like break them. But I absolutely love these. These are owl ones. And then just beautiful leather. I think it's burnt on here or laser cut. I don't know, but it's beautiful and I love this color. I do have her B1 too. I love taking this when I go vend at fiber shows because I don't want to bring in my purse and walk around with it. So I'll usually leave my purse in my hotel and then bring my wallet and my ID in this and any cash. And it's just beautiful. I love this color. And then I also did get, I don't remember what these are called. I don't know what they're called, but this one has Mothman on it and a moon, and I love it. And I also got a matching keychain, which is Mothman. And yeah, I love them so much. Every time I see them at a show, I get like at least 1 or 2 pairs of earrings, a keychain, and yeah. Wow, it is dark. So I think that should be me wrapping everything up. Oh, actually, I did remember. I did release pre-orders for my advent calendar this year. So it is February. It is February. It feels really early, but I don't know. I got really excited putting together like the mood board and the color palette that I was like, I would like to release this now. So I am doubling up all of my boxes. Last year I did 40 and this year I'm doing 80. So I've already sold about a third of the boxes and it's only been like a week. So if you want it, go get it. I do payment plans. I do have payment plans available on my listing, and then all the information on there is in the FAQ section on the listing. And if you want to know more or get early releases, because my newsletter subscribers actually got a few days early on that advent calendar pre-order, you should subscribe to my newsletter too. All right, I think that is everything. I'm losing the light quickly. My husband's probably like 10 minutes out, so I figured that's a perfect time to like clean up everything I've got going on. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, let me know what project you were excited to see of mine and what project you're working on or anything else that you were excited to see in this video. And I will see you next month. All right, bye.